Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be discussing all of the books that I read in July of 2021, and I'm so quick with this video because it is 1st August today and I never really film so soon, so early. What is up with me? I don't know, but I feel like it's a good thing, so let's just roll with that. I'm going to be listing all of the books that I read in order, and then I will let you know the plot, what I thought about the book, and then my rating for that book. And if you want to know any detailed reviews that I've written, you can follow me on Goodreads. My username is Nea the Nerd. And also, if you're new here, hi, my name is Nea, short for Neha, and I love to talk about nerdy things. But well, let's just get right into the video because I don't want to keep rambling. So the very first book I read was actually an audiobook, so I'll put the book title here, but that is Melt for You by J.T. Geisenger, if I'm not wrong. Now this book was a romance book. It was a little smutty, but not like overly smutty, to be very honest. It was just a romance book and it was just so good. The audiobook was absolutely beautifully narrated and I just had a blast with it. So the story is about this girl, and it's kind of like a cliche where she is in love with her boss, and she is trying to like get his attention, but at the same time the boss is married, so that's why she just has like this unrequited love thing going on. And then her neighbor moves, and instead of the neighbor there's this new guy who she meets. His name is Cameron, and apparently he's like a very popular sportsman, and they both meet and she kind of gets in like a feud with him. And later so this guy Cameron decides to help I completely forgot to give you her name, but the girl's name is Joelyn. So Joelyn and Cameron, they kind of become friends, and then Cameron decides to help her with like getting with her boss because she finds out that her boss is getting divorced. And it's just a fun story. What I really loved about this book is the messages it gave regarding body image issues and just a lot of, you know, negative talk that we do, and it's just beautiful how this book deals with it. I would definitely recommend it if you are looking for a romance book because it does deal with a lot of topics and also with trauma and stuff. So yeah, I just really loved this book and I gave it 4 stars out of 5 because it was not like perfect, but I did love it. I feel like Joelyn was just a little dumb at times. You'll see what I mean if you do read it. But yeah, the second book is actually right here, and that is The Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier, and I was so excited to read this. I'm so glad I did. It is a classic and Daphne du Maurier writes so beautifully. I absolutely love this, but I just had a few issues with it. So what the plot is that there's this like Madame Donna, that's her name, I think, Donna, and she's like this English lady, and she decides to run away from her, not run away exactly, but she leaves her mansion to go and live in the countryside alone. And she tells her husband that she wants to live alone for a while with her kids, and she wants to kind of escape her, you know, like her like her house life with the kids and all of that, you know, like the traditional life, and she wants to have an adventure. And then she meets a pirate. So that's how the plot goes, and I don't want to go ahead any further and give you any like spoilers, but it was quite an interesting story. The way Donna acts, it's kind of funny, the things she does. It's just yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend it if you do like pirates. It's not even, it does break these stereotypes of what we do think of pirates, and I did like that a lot. But yeah, I gave this like 3 stars out of 5 though, because again, the ending of this one wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, and at the same time it was kind of ambiguous. So Daphne du Maurier does this, I feel, because she did that even with Rebecca, where we're just like left hanging and we don't know what exactly happened after that. So I feel like some people might like it, some might not, but yeah, it was a good story still. Like the writing was really good, and I'm really looking forward to reading more books by Daphne du Maurier. The next book I read was on my iPad, and that is The Boy, the Fox, the Mole, and the... is it right? sorry, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Yep, so that book is actually a graphic novel, and I personally didn't like love it a lot. It was just like a lot of small quotes, and it's like a feel-good cutesy book. It did have some really interesting quotes, so I will just read a few things from the book. There's this one line that says, "What do you think is the biggest waste of time?" And comparing yourself to others, said the mole. And there's just a lot of like small lessons in here that is, I just find that were really motivating and inspiring. But that was all well and good, but there is no like real story in here. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars out of 5. I just thought it was an average read. The next book I read, again, it was a physical copy, which is Enough by John Nash, and I actually really loved this. I did give it 4 stars out of 5 just because I feel like it wasn't as relevant. This was written back in 2008, if I'm not wrong, and there have been a lot of changes in society since then. But basically, John Nash here talks about enough of everything. So he talks about different categories where we just have excess of things. So that's information, food, things, I think options, and work. And just there's a lot of things that he discusses, and he also even talks about enough happiness and how we're just chasing happiness instead of being content. And there's just a lot of things he covers. If you can see, I have like tabbed so much of that book, and it's like completely covered, but I did love it so much, and I do plan on rereading it just to kind of ingrain the idea in me, because sometimes I do get really dissatisfied with things instead of just being content, because I feel like we in our society are just chasing the next thing, and we're just wanting better, and it's just getting to be really toxic for us, because we are just not satisfied and content with what we currently have in the present moment. And I feel like that's just something that we need to be more aware of. And this does also apply to like chasing a lot of information, and also chasing productivity and trying to be productive all the time, or chasing new experiences instead of just being content with right now. And I just feel like this is such an important book for today's day and age. So yeah, highly recommend this book if you can find it. I did thrift this from a book sale, like a secondhand book sale, but highly recommend this if you can find it. Yeah. The next book I read, I actually have a vlog that I filmed for this book, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'll just link the vlog here so that you can watch it if you want to. But this was just such a cozy read. It's about this, so basically it's kind of a fantasy story, and there are like children with magical powers in this story, and there are different orphanages that these children are kept in, and there's like this department in charge of magical youth where this man Linus Baker works in, and he has this job of looking over all these different orphanages and making sure that they're functioning well, and if they're not functioning well, then he has to shut them down. And he is sent on this special mission to this house in the Cerulean Sea to look after, or not look after, but report to the department, or the department as in there's this like extremely upper management that he has to report to about the workings of the orphanage. And he has been assigned to stay there for like a month and give reports, and apparently it's like a special orphanage, and we find out more as we read. But it's about these like magical children, and it's just such a cute story. I loved it, but I did find it to be kind of a little too good to be true at times, and just that I will say that nothing really seems to go a lot wrong in this book. It just feels like the book is just not following Murphy's Law at all. So yeah, it's a really feel-good book. I did give it 4 stars out of 5 because I felt like a lot of issues were not like dealt in very deeply, and I just wanted more information out of things. So would have appreciated if there were like more books in the series so that I could know what exactly happened with certain children. But other than that, it was a lovely book. So yeah, gave it 4 stars. The next book, I read this on the Kindle actually, so I'll just put a cover here, but this was kind of like a novella, and it was sort of a smutty read. And so after finishing The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I just wanted something really quick to read, I was not really in the mood for anything, so I just picked this up randomly on my Kindle. And it's about this like party where these like, I think like adults meet up. It's kind of like a get-together where all these people from high school meet again, and there's this thing that happens where they have like this, I forgot what it's called, like a beer pong, is it? I don't know, but it's about basically drinking as many, it's basically like a drinking game, I feel, where these two people, there's this girl, her name is, I think, so the girl's name is Jessica and the guy's name is Manson, and apparently Jessica and Manson were kind of like sort of enemies in school, because Jessica was this popular girl and Manson was this very you could say like he was bullied by all these students, children of the school, and Jessica was kind of like a reason for him being bullied. And there's just like a history with them, you'll find out if you read it obviously, but and he challenges her to like this game of drinking, and he ends up winning, and he like dares her to be his slave for a night, and that's how this goes. I feel like it's kind of like 50 Shades, but I feel like 50 Shades is definitely way crazier. This was just like a short book, and it's just like 111 pages long. It was fun to read, nothing like deep or anything, so I gave it 3 stars out of 5. It was a fine book. The next book I read on the audiobook, and that is The Body in the Library by Agatha Christie. I love Agatha Christie, so I was really happy to read this. I picked it up on Audible, and it was a good audiobook. The narrator did a really good job. So basically in the book, at the very beginning, there's a body that's found in a library, and that's like this mansion in the countryside, and nobody knows where the body has come from, and that's how the story starts. I would not give any spoilers because I feel like you don't really need to know more than this, but it was a good book, but I just feel like I was a bit confused about all the characters coming in, and even though the ending was kind of surprising, I didn't find myself to be absolutely connected with the book. Now, this was a Miss Marple story, and I feel like I love Hercule Poirot stories a lot more, but it was a fine story. I feel like maybe because I read it on the audiobook, I wasn't connecting as much, so I don't know for sure, but it was interesting still, and I would recommend it if you want to pick up an Agatha Christie book and you want like a countryside setting. But I definitely recommend Hercule Poirot a lot more. But yeah, I gave this book 3 stars out of 5. It was an average read, but again, nothing phenomenal for me. The next book I read, it actually is this book I again read in one of my vlogs, so I'll link that vlog here if you want to watch that. But this is The Little Book of Otter Philosophy by Jennifer McCartney. This book was just a cozy book about how to live your lives like otters. So otters are really playful creatures, and Jennifer McCartney gives a lot of facts about otters, and there's just a lot of illustrations too. I'll just show it to you. Okay. So there you go. So yeah, it's a really cute book. There's a lot of facts about otters, and I just found it to be a really comforting read. So yeah, if you're looking for nonfiction that's just cozy, highly recommend Jennifer McCartney's books because I just love them. This is like a book in a series of 3 books, and I do have all the 3 books. I have read the other book called The Little Book of Sloth Philosophy as well, and I have the Little Book of Alpaca Philosophy yet to read, but I'm just so excited about them. And the last book, but definitely not the least, is The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. I got this recently, like last week, and I did open it in my vlog as well. I had pre-ordered it, and I honestly devoured it in like 3 days. I was trying to go slow with it, but it was just so good and comforting, just like the title says. So Matt Haig gives a lot of lessons about life in here, and it's not like an extremely deep nonfiction. It was a very cozy nonfiction. I gave it 4 stars out of 5 just because I feel like it wasn't like absolutely phenomenal, but I don't know if I'll end up giving it 5 stars when I reread this. I feel like it depends on where you are in life when you're reading books like these, because yeah, you relate to things if you have experienced them mostly. And for me, I really related to a lot of things, but there were some that I feel like I couldn't relate to right now in my this stage in my life, but I might later on. So definitely a book that I will keep reading and rereading again and again. So yeah, I'm really happy that I have this beautiful edition. It's just stunning. I did not annotate it because it's just too pretty, but yeah. So those were all of the books that I read in July. I read a total of 9 books if I'm not wrong. I'm quite happy with how this month turned out, and I'm really hoping to read some more cozy books in August because it's just been raining and really cozy and I just love the weather. But yep, that was all for the video. Hope you're reading some lovely and comforting books as well. Do leave me down in the comment section what you did read in July yourself, and also let me know what books you're planning to read in August. And yeah, let's just chat in the comment section. So I'll see you in a new video, and I hope you're taking care and staying safe. Bye.